program for individuals with Parkinson's disease. So Parkinson's disease is both a chronic and progressive motor system disorder, which is the result of the loss of dopamine-producing brain cells. So the primary symptoms for this disease are tremors, stiffness in the limbs and the trunk, slowness in movement, and impaired balance and coordination. The problem description that our program seeks to address is that too many individuals with Parkinson's disease do not get the needed resources. Some of the causes for this are decreased quality of life due to their disease, lack of or poor medical insurance, and an increased dependency on their family members. Some of the consequences of this are the lack of medical resources or equipment that they need, significant financial burdens, and increased relationship strains. So I did my internship these past 2 semesters at Multiple Sclerosis Quality of Life Project, which is a local nonprofit here in Monterey. We work with MS patients and their families here in Monterey County, Santa Cruz County, and San Benito counties. Our services include case management, education and advocacy, and support services. So for case management, our caseworkers work with clients to create and complete care plan goals to get them the necessary medical and financial resources that they need. Education and advocacy. Usually with this aspect of our program, we have educational events, maybe once a month, that are sponsored by pharmaceutical companies or other community organizations and are usually hosted by neurologists to provide patients with more information on their disease. And lastly, we have support services with our monthly support group meetings, where our clients meet to kind of just discuss what's going on. So my capstone project was to implement a new case management program at the agency for individuals with Parkinson's disease. I was directly responsible for program planning, implementation of the program, and evaluation of the program. For the implementation, there were 4 major steps that I had to go through. The first step was to educate MSPLP on the new population we were going to serve. So we were going to do this in 3 ways. The first way was that I was going to do some research on the disease to provide information to the staff. The second was we were going to meet with key personnel at Parkinson's Clinic up in Sunnyvale, and then we were going to meet with local support groups to get kind of an insider's view of what really happens with Parkinson's. Unfortunately, we weren't able to meet with anyone from the Sunnyvale Clinic, and we didn't get any response from local support groups, so we were left with the research that I had conducted. The next step was to prepare our agency for the new clientele. So in doing this, I revised the intake forms that we use in our first assessment with the patient or the client. And by doing that, I revised the initial intake forms that we use in our house visits. I revised the biopsychosocial forms, which addresses 8 areas of need for the patient, which are healthcare, finances, social support, functional abilities, activities of daily living, community resources, home environment, and perceived future needs. And then lastly, for preparing the agency with new clientele, I created a resource guide for our new clients. So this included local and national resources for anything they would need as far as medical equipment, health insurance, and other financial resources. The next step was to do outreach to local Parkinson's physicians. So we created a packet that explained the services MSPLP offers, the new program we're implementing, and then also kind of the timeline that we were going to set in order to take in the new clients. After we did this, we began the intake of Parkinson's clients. In evaluating the Parkinson's disease case management program, we went along the same lines that we do when we evaluate the MS case management program. Doing this, we tracked house visits, calls made with and for clients, and then care plan goals set and met through their case management with us. Our findings were that pretty typically we do 1 initial house visit with our clients, so that's what both of our Parkinson's clients got. The care plan goals we set for the first client were 8, and out of those 8, 7 were met. 0 calls were made with our first client, but 28 for our first client. For client number 2, we set 6 care plan goals, and out of those 6, we met 5. And then had 6 calls with our first client or our second client, and 6 calls for the second client. This translated into an 85.7% care plan goal completion rate. which is about 5% higher than the care plan goal completion rate for the MS program. So what I learned, because we weren't able to get the insider's view of how Parkinson's really affects a person's life and what their real needs are, we were left with anticipated needs. So we didn't really know what they would be. It turns out that our anticipated needs really met the needs that our clients came to us with. The next thing we learned was that a little different from our MS clients, it's more of a family unit that was our client. It wasn't the individual that we were serving, it was their family. For both of our clients, they were a little progressed in their disease, so they had a real high dependence on their family members. So we were really serving families in the unit. And then we learned about our outreach style. After about a couple weeks of not hearing back from the outreach that we sent to the neurologist and psychiatrist, we took a step back and we looked out and said, well, how do we get our MS clients? And we realized that our referrals come from people who have relationships with us, who have been through the program and like our services, so they refer others to us. And then lastly, I got practical application of everything I learned in my classes. So I got to do a program plan, I got to implement a program, and I got to evaluate it. This is all stuff that I learned in my classes, and it was really awesome to be able to do it. My recommendations for MSPLP are to continue utilizing the public administration intern. It's really valuable to get free help in a small organization with fundraising and grant writing. So I would suggest to keep doing that. And then to continue with community outreach, but maybe in a different way than we had done for Parkinson's. Maybe letting the clients know about it and spreading it word of mouth instead of the official outreach we had done. So I'd like to thank the CHHS faculty and staff for your dedication to us, my classmates for providing an awesome learning environment, my mentor Andrea Dell, who is not here today, but I'd like to thank the rest of the MSQLP staff, and mostly my family and friends for supporting me through this journey of becoming our family's first college graduate. Thank you.